Okay, so I think we're live now. Welcome, everybody. We are back this week with the Inspired By series with Free Spirit Fabrics. I'm Sharon Thornton, and I'm here this week with Linda and Carl Sullivan of Colourwerx. And we're really excited to be back. It's been a few weeks since we've been on. There was a week where, let me see. I am on. So I'm on now. So thank you for letting me know. I just did a little brief skit. We were a few minutes late because I guess I was just doing a warm up. I thought we were live, but we really weren't. So anyways, well, welcome everybody. We love to have you with us. I was off a week. I took a couple of vacation days and then there was a short week with the holiday. And then last week we had a program with the Catawba Quilt Guild and the Highland Quilt Guild that we had shown through Inspired By. So if you didn't see that last week, go back in and take a look at it. It was very interesting in terms of some of the behind the scenes things that we do here at Free Spirit Fabrics. I'm Sharon Thornton, and I'm here today, like I already mentioned, with Linda and Carl Sullivan of Colourwerx. And Nancy Jewell will be in the background answering questions along with Lindsay Dryden, who will also be answering questions, any questions for Free Spirit. If you have any, please go to the Free Spirit website, freespiritfabrics.com. At any time you have any questions about Free Spirit, you can find our programs, you can find our collections, you can find our patterns, you can find any information that you want to know about Free Spirit Fabrics on our website. So at this point, I am getting confirmation that we're live. And I would like to turn the program over to Linda and Carl. Let me change my spotlight. Hold on, you guys. I got to figure this out.
Thank you.
Hold on. I have to change it to you now. So let me see. I'm technically challenged this week. So cancel the spotlight video. Here's Linda and Carl, spotlight video. I think it's
there
all
we go. Hello. Why, thanks, Sharon. And thank you, Nancy, and everybody at Free Spirit for having us today. We are really excited to be here to talk about everything that's Cafe-alicious and Cafe-tastic and all these beautiful, beautiful fabrics. Just by way of introduction, in case you don't know us, I'm Linda.
And I'm Carl.
This is Carl. We are Colourwerx Designs, and we've been in the business for about 20 years. We publish, we design patterns, we also design fabrics. And we have been working with Free Spirit for probably about 7 years now. We did own a quilt shop for 9 years that we ran day in and day out.
We did. And fight each other.
Yes.
Every
well,
day.
I might add too that we are married. So if we do a little back and forth, we're married. We've been married for 30 years.
Little Sonny and Cher routine now and again.
Yeah. Yes. So we design together 24/7. We live, of course, together 24/7. We work together 24/7. And we actually, it's not unusual that we might fire each other on a weekly basis sometimes. And then we have to rehire each other back.
Because it's too much for one of us.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. So but we design all of our patterns together, but separately. And that's a little weird to say, but we don't necessarily, everybody wants to know if we actually sit down and kind of collaborate. And we do on a certain extent, but most of the time, each of us go into our own design space and design the patterns separately from each other. Carl does more of the pieced patchwork designs, graphic-y designs. I do more of the applique designs and some of the liberated slash and sew designs that we're going to show you today. And we'll get to these two quilts that are right behind us too in a moment too. But I think I want to start by actually showing you some quilts that we did with Free Spirit Fabrics that are still up on their inspiration page as free patterns that you can download. We met Sharon, the inspiration manager for Free Spirit Fabrics, probably 6 or 7 years ago at a quilt market when we had a booth there. And she said to us, would you guys like to come and play with some Free Spirit fabrics and some Cape Fawcett fabrics and do some patterns for us? And of course we said,
well, yes, because we didn't have enough to do in the shop on our own.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Who wouldn't want to do that? So let me start here. And we've got a little slideshow going on. We're down here in the corner. These are some beautiful patterns that we did that are still up on the Free Spirit inspiration page. I think they're under projects. There's so many projects up there that you can download. They're beautiful, but these are the ones particular to Cave that Carl and I designed. The one on the left, Easy Sunday, this was out of the Artisan collection. It's gorgeous. And I might add that any of these patterns work with any of the Cave Fawcett stash that you might have. You just mix and match. And of course, you know, call an orange an orange, call a red a red. That's as easy as it gets. It doesn't have to have the cabbage on it to match. And then we have Fan Dance, which is a really fun kind of play on a Dresden plate, and those are half Dresden flowers sitting there. And then we just variegated the background with some beautiful cave that came out during this collection. And then we also have these other ones that are up on the FreeSpirit website. As I mentioned, there are several dozen up there to choose from all different collections that FreeSpirit has to offer. The Harlequin one, which is the one on your left, was done with Artisan a couple years ago, and that is a really, really fun pattern. Topaz in the middle is paper pieced. So if you like to do foundation piecing or paper piecing and looking for some way of using all of your beautiful cave stash, that is a really, really fun pattern.
And picking the jewel tones out in your fabrics.
That's right, all the jewel tones. And then Carnival of Color is there on the right-hand side. And that's a really, really fun pattern. It's super easy, goes together in a flash, probably a weekend. That would go together in. So those are all up there. I put the little website up there at the top so you can see the link to where you might find these free patterns and some more. And then I think I want to go to next this particular quilt because I want to show you this. This is, or was, I should say, the oldest UFO in my closet. It
20
was
years.
20 years. So I picked this kit up from Liza, who is one of Cave's business partners, 20 years ago at Quilt Market when I was quote unquote apprenticing. I was going to have my own booth there at Quilt Market. And so I apprenticed for another pattern designer so I could get a feel of what it would be like to vend at Quilt Market. And I fell in love with this particular quilt. I didn't really know who Cave Fawcett was. I didn't have any of his fabrics. I just loved these stripes in the shot cotton. And so I bought this kit from Liza. It took 3 months to get to me. That's just the normal thing. So it arrived at my house 3 months later. I quickly started to build the blocks. And then, I don't know, it just went into my closet for 20 years. I have no idea why, but with all of us being in lockdown these days, I finally pulled it out of my closet 4 weeks ago, I think it was, and actually finished it. And all I had to do was actually sew rows together and then rows together, blocks together into rows and then rows into making the quilt top. And we have an overhead here, which Carl will go over and show.
I'm going to cut out as soon as you get there.
Oh, there we go. So that is the actual quilt sitting on our cutting table right now that I just finished. And I used just an all over pantograph pattern with it, but I wanted for you guys to see it kind of up close and personal. It was fun to make. I believe the pattern is called Venetian Tiles. And I do believe when I posted this up on the Cave Fawcett Collective Facebook group, somebody had mentioned that this is in one of his books. And I want to say it's Glorious Patchwork, but I could be wrong. But that's the backing that you see. We used a fabric from Cave Fawcett, a newer cave, but you can really see the pantograph moving there. But it is gorgeous, and we're happy it's done. Carl loves it. It's a very manly quilt.
And what I like about this is these shot cotton stripes here from 20 years ago match perfectly with a fabric from a year ago from Cave. So cave colors go together all the time. Right. Doesn't matter what generation of cave you got, they'll all mix together. That's why we love it.
Well, yeah, because if I'm right, he does all the colorations himself. So even Brandon and Philip might do the design, and Cave does the colorations, and that's why everything stays constant and the same colors. So that's gorgeous. And I just wanted I wanted to share that with everybody because UFOs need to get done, even if they're 20 years old. And so I'm happy that it was done.
Totally. Hey, Linda, would you mind if I just jump in? Because I actually didn't say anything about the quilt behind me. This is like the perfect segue to go from the quilt that Linda just showed. So I'm keeping Linda on right now. So she's got the Venetian tile quilt up there. And as Linda said, she got this quilt, bought this quilt like 20 years ago. And oh, you bought it. I'm sorry.
I bought it as a kit.
Right. Bought it as a kit 20 years ago. And then you put it together and then it went into the closet because none of us ever do anything like that, Linda.
No.
No, we never do that. We finish it. And then you pulled it out and you finish it now, which I think is awesome. And it's so beautiful to see Kaif's shot cottons there. And what I'd like to do is I would like to show my page right now. So behind me, I think we're switching screens. I hope so. I'm learning. Please bear with me. I'm still trying to learn this. This quilt that's behind me was actually made by Liza Lucy. And so this one is called Rosita Zigzag. And Liza made the quilt that's behind me. And these are Kaif's new shot cottons, and shot cotton solids and his shot cotton stripes. So you can see that there are stripes in here, and then she's got the solids in here. This quilt is pretty amazing. I mean, to be up close on this is really fantastic. So you can see Kaif had, I know, Kaif had shot cottons 20 years ago, and he still has them, and they're still all beautiful. And you're right. I love how you just talked about how the colorations, Kaif does color all of his, all of the design work, and he does keep the colors consistent. So you can take fabrics from years ago that are still going to work with fabrics that he's designing and putting out now.
Absolutely.
So, yes. And I wanted to also say, I forgot to say, shirt that I'm wearing is from Zappy Dots. This is a Kaif design. I think it's called Beach Balls. So if you're interested in checking out any of Kaif or Brandon's designs on Zappy Dots, they have shirts and they have neckbands there as well.
Fabulous.
So it's a little too warm yet for me to get it into a neckband, but I'm sure by the winter I'll have one of those on. So anyways, I would like to turn it back over to you. We have a lot of people on, everyone's saying hello, they're saying where they're from. So please keep, letting us know that you're out there. If you have any questions, just ask us. Lindsay will be answering questions, and Nancy as well, on our Facebook group. So if you have any questions, just let us know. And I'm going to let Linda and Carl do some more of their presentation. And hold on, Linda, I'm going to switch over to you.
That's okay. I'm waiting. I'm ready. There we go. Okay. So I switched the slideshow up to the next one. This is all stacked up. We just released this as a pattern, and you can see a couple different versions there. So the one on the left-hand side, the smaller version, is just one that we did several years ago with Kaif. And the bigger version is one that was just released with the August release of the Kaif Fawcett Collective Fabrics that came out. This is a wonderful pattern to actually bust your Kaif stash on, or get a good excuse to go to the shops and pick out a lot of smaller tidbits of Kaif. You can use eighth yard cuts, quarter yard cuts, third yard cuts. You could even try fat quarters for this particular quilt. It looks complicated, but it is beautifully easy to make. And again, it's a wonderful quilt to use up all of your stash, or go have an excuse to go buy all the new Kaif Fawcett Collective that's just come out in quarter yard, half yard, or eighth yard cuts. So that one is called All Stacked Up. That's one of our patterns.
One question for you on this one. If memory serves me correctly, the first time when we did this one, there's like 60 something different SKUs in that. Is that right?
There are 52. Well, the pattern actually allows you to go back. You can do a very scrappy version, which is 52 different fabrics. And the pattern actually has 5 different sizes in it. So if you're going up to the king size quilt size, let's say you want to make this king size, you could actually use up to about 150 different Kaif fabrics in it.
Wow.
So it's like I said, it's a wonderful way of actually using a combination of, Kaif, and you can use your shot cottons, your stripes, you can use solids with it, the abo dots with it, all the different Kaif collective fabrics. But you can do 52 or you can do 20. So if you don't have a huge stash,
and if you got some stray strips left from Kaif projects, just throw them in there.
Yeah,
it all works.
Carl said if you have some orphan 2.5-inch strips, you can just throw those in there.
Oh,
too.
Was my mic not working?
I think you were working.
Okay, because I'm on the cutting board. Yes.
So speaking of 2.5-inch strips, so this is the quilt that is behind me in the wall here, but this is Colourwerx, and this was another colorization that we did for FreeSpirit Fabrics when we first came out with this pattern last year. And these are the rainbow pre-cuts. But again, I love showing these quilts because it is just a gorgeous, I'll put it on this one, as you can see behind me, gorgeous way of using your Kaif Fawcett fabrics. And this basically goes in color wheel order. So basically we just matched yellow to yellow and orange to orange, green to green, and it went down. If you can see, it just goes from yellow to down to the greens and the blues down into the magentas. And so I call that color wheel order when I put a quilt in that order. So that is Color Maze. And if I move forward on this slideshow, here are some different colorizations. And we just finished these 4 FreeSpirit fabrics. So we do a lot of work in the future coming up for things coming up. But this is Color Maze again, and you can see the different colorizations. And what I love about CAFE is you can change everything by just changing the background color. So the background fabrics for these particular quilts are the abo dots or aboriginal dots. And we love using the orchid one, which has little hints of purple for the black version. And we love using the aqua or cream one. The aqua one has little hints of light blue, and the cream one has just little hints of beige that just set his fabrics off beautifully. So that was the yellow. This is the green kind of, I love this colorway, the green, teal, turquoises that he puts together. They're just gorgeous. And then finally Color Maze in this dramatic blue, purple, and even putting in that black and gray colorization that he put into this pre-cut here and these colorizations. It's just gorgeous. And again, the background colors for these quilts are all the same background. So you can see how that background and the quilt and the drama and the flair of the quilt changes based on the background, the colorization of the strips, and also the background color. Yes.
Linda, is it easy enough for you to back that up, just to go back? I'd just like to show everyone one more time as you go through that. So basically what you're saying then is that, like on this example right here, the yellow one,
yes,
where you're using the yellow colorway, that the fabrics in those blocks are exactly the same. Am I correct? And the only thing that's changed in both of those quilts is the background, right?
correct. Yeah, absolutely. The fabrics are exactly in the same placement in each quilt. The colorizations that we're using here, of course, are going from yellow to orange to fuchsia to pink. That was kind of the bundle we were given to use. But you're right, Sharon. The only thing that's different between the top quilt in black and the top quilt in with the white background is the background fabric.
Right. It's amazing how they look completely different just with that minor change. And so
exactly.
so if you could just go to the next one so we can see. So it's the same thing here. The color placement of the blocks is exactly the same. The only thing that's changed out is the background again.
Right.
Well, meaning on each one, you're actually using the orchid in the water. Is that correct? For the
yes.
Right, for the backgrounds. Yeah, that's pretty amazing. And then the same for the last one here.
Yep, orchid and water. So these are the aboriginal dots in orchid and the abo dots in water. And you can see how even in the left one, that watercolor, that aboriginal dot in water plays with beautifully with the black and the purple and the very, rich tones of the blues that CAFE gives you. It gives you that that tinge. It does. It sings. That's what Carl says. We always try to make our quilts sing. So I would say that is a full opera going on there. It's beautiful. I just love. Well, I'm a big sucker for the blues and the teals and the purple. So I love that. Carl likes the hot colors better. I love the cooler colors.
You're a perfect match.
Yeah, you can even see it back here. Now these are dots. These are the dots. So, but you can even see this. So these are exactly the same placements with exactly the same rainbow pre-cut. And this side, this is the I think it's called black spot.
I think you're right.
And this is the magnolia spot, if I have that right. Which is
you didn't know this was going to be a test, did you?
I know. But this is the light lilac. I think I have that right. It's magnolia.
I think you're right. And the name of that pattern, Linda, is what?
The name of the pattern is Color Maze, available on the website.
And it really is easy because Carl did that one, actually sewed it.
Yeah, Carl designed this one, and it's a 2.5-inch strip friendly quilt. So it's basically 2 yards of the background and any strip roll you want to use, or design roll, I should say. And those are the 2.5-inch strips. So if you've got your stash or you want to go out to the quilt shop, you could just buy quarter cuts of 20 fabrics and do cut 2.5-inch strips from them.
That's beautiful. Those are beautiful.
Thank you. And then we had a great time designing them, though. It was really fun. And then moving on, so Paint Box, Sharon will remember this one. This one's called Paint Box, and we did these colorizations for FreeSpirit last year when Cave came out with, and Cave and Brandon and Philip, I should say the Cave Fawcett Collective came out with a new collection last year. And this was the warm and cool colorways of the same designs, you know, same fabrics, but in warm and cool. And this particular pattern uses not only 2.5-inch strips, you could use, if you've been collecting those 6-inch design strips. Those are the 6-inch wide by width of fabric design strips that only I think Cave does.
Yes, only Cave does those for us.
Yeah. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No. I'm trying not to interrupt you, but yes, we have 6-inch design rolls with every single collection that Cave does. So if anyone is interested in, you know, just purchasing that design roll, this is a perfect pattern for that as well.
It is actually, and I was going to go to the overhead so Carl can show it a little bit more up close.
Wow, that looks fantastic.
It goes together so quickly, this particular pattern. And it's so fun to see all the different Cave Fawcett fabrics work together. You're basically putting together groups of 4 fabrics each. So you can do them in colorways like we've done here, where you just kind of isolate some of the greens and teals, isolate the blues, blacks, or purples together, and then put some lighter blues together. Our background fabrics here are, again, the abo dots in that orchid color, which has, you can't see it quite on the overhead, but there are tints of purple there. On the abo dots, and then that I can't remember the name of it.
This
Sharon.
blue one right in
this
here.
blue one, the leaf.
Lynn
was part of
will
that.
tell us. I should know what it's called. I had this test a couple of weeks ago.
And so that is fun. And then if you want to show the backing of that, I always like to show off some of the backing, even though some of these may not be in and out. But
oh yes,
that was a gorgeous backing. I almost upholstered a couch in that particular fabric.
Yes,
it didn't quite go.
Called Fruit Mandela. That's the
Fruit Mandela. That's it.
Not melon. With the we were
I
going
was
with
going to call
melon.
it fruit melon, but I know that's not correct. But this is a Paint Box is a wonderful, wonderful, fun quilt to make. It, like I said, it goes together in a flash. It's strip piecing, and then you're cutting triangles. It looks much more complicated than it is. It finishes at 48 by 48. So it's not a very large quilt, and it makes a wonderful baby quilt, or if you want a lap quilt for somebody.
Or a good art piece on a wall.
An art piece, like Carl said, on the wall, or a table topper. We also just finished some different colorizations, again, for FreeSpirit. Here we are lately. So
beautiful.
These are the newest ones that you can see. And again, these all have, I believe, pretty much the same background fabric. The only thing that's changing there is the accent color in the background, meaning the binding and what's combined with the background. And then, of course, the actual pre-cut or collection of fabrics. So you have the yellow, and I love the drama that's created with this particular pattern. The yellow with the fuchsia and the pinks, and then you have the greens, beautiful. And again, then that very dramatic purple black colorway that's put together at the end there. Again, the background of these are abo dots with aqua, and it's just, again, Paint Box is very fun. And there's one last one to show you on Paint Box, because we love showing all the different colorways.
I just want to interrupt you. Vanessa Ines, if I'm saying her last name correctly, said that fabric is ombre, and I think that she's correct on that one that you were just showing on the back of that other quilt.
Oh,
it's an ombre. Yeah.
The ombre leaves, maybe.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. I think that's right.
Vanessa, she's a good fan. She knows.
There you go. And so this is one last Paint Box just to show you out of the new shot cottons that came out.
Beautiful.
And again, the 2.5-inch design roll or design strip. I don't think, did he put one out in the shot cotton, Sharon? I don't think he did.
A 6-inch.
6-inch.
He did. And
yeah,
I think there's 2.5-inch as well.
Right. And so if you find a 6-inch design strip, there you go. Now you have a pattern to do with it. So
exactly. That looks beautiful.
Paint Box. And then moving on, we have Color Ripple. This is another one of our patterns that we did recently with these new colorizations. And I might add, these last couple quilts that you've all been seeing, these are the same fabrics in each quilt, meaning the collection that we are given of yellows is the same collection of fabrics. that we used in this quilt and paint box and color maze, as you see coming through. So this is using 10-inch charm packs or 5-inch charm packs. This particular quilt we actually did for Sharon, she might recognize it, in Anna Marie Horner several years ago.
Yeah.
And it was a huge quilt. It was like a 8 by 8 quilt. Yeah, and so we actually took it back and we named it Color Ripple. And what it is, we kind of refined the pattern and we made it a little bit easier. And these orange peels are not actually pieced, they're actually applique on. So we've made it super easy for people to actually finish this quickly. You can use raw edge, fusible web machine applique. I like to do this quilt and I like to use my decorative stitches. So I actually fuse those peels into place. And then I use my decorative stitches to kind of highlight and accent them. If I don't want them to show up my stitching, I just use clear thread and a blind hem stitch. So it looks like I hand appliqued it.
So Linda, so the construction of this, so are you saying, I want to make sure I understand. So the background of that is using 5 or 10-inch charms. And then you're saying that the design is laid on top?
No, actually what I'm saying is the 10-inch charm pack is actually the peels, the colors, the yellows, the fuchsias, the oranges that you see. The background is actually comprised of 2 or 3 different fabrics, half square triangles with little pink triangles at the end to make it kind of tingle out like dog ears. Yes. So it looks like it's tingling, or it's like when you dropped a pebble into a lake and it ripples out, that kind of thing. And so actually the charm pack, or the whether it's a 10-inch square or a 5-inch square, and the pattern gives you either or. So if you do 10-inch squares, you're making a 54 by 54-inch quilt. If you're using 5-inch charm pack, you're making a nice little table topper that's about 24 by 24. And that's the charm pack is what you use to make the actual orange peel or the oval. And then that appliques over everything else. Or layer cake. Well, we don't call them layer cakes.
10-inch squares.
We call them charm packs.
Yes.
Right. But that's the yellow colorization, or the yellow pink warm colorization of Color Ripple. Here we go. Here's the green teal. So again, using that abo dot of the wool with the water in it, that just gives it that little tint of blue in the background, aqua. And then we use the green kind of band that you see going around there is that beautiful jade milliflora of Cave. So that second band of dark green is jade milliflora. And I believe on the yellow colorway, we might have used, the red milliflora, which I love. Yeah, so, and then as we go back again to green, and then this is the very dramatic coming up again. Woo. Yeah. The very dramatic purpley blue. And we use that lavender milliflora just to highlight it. And you can kind of see how that all changes. And we use the Aboriginal dot orchid in the back again. So we love the orchid. In case you can't tell, we love the abo water and the abo orchid as backgrounds. They're beautiful.
Is there any way you could do a close-up of that Aboriginal dot? Melanie Drexy, sorry Melanie, I think I'm ruining her last name, but she asked if
I have a piece of it here somewhere.
Oh, that's okay. I didn't know if it was in one of the quilts that you had that you could get close on or not.
But so that is Color Ripple. And then I want to move, if we can, if we're okay to this particular quilt. This is Waterfall, which we did a couple years ago in some different, a cave collective that came out. I want to say, Sharon, this was 19, no, what am I saying, 19? No, it was 2000, maybe 18, 2017.
16, 17.
Yeah. And so this was tropical and the cool colorways that we did for you. And what I love about this pattern, this is one, again, that Carl designed, you just need 12 fabrics. So this is a wonderful pattern. Again, quick pattern to make, quick quilt to make. It ends up making a 60 by 60-inch quilt. But you need 12 cave fabrics, and then you need about 2 yards of some cave background. And this is, again, depending on how you put your fabrics together, you're going to put your 12 fabrics into groups of 3 fabrics into 4 groups. And depending on how you mush those fabrics together, depends on how many secondary patterns you get. So if you look at the tropical colorway, which is in the upper left-hand corner, you're going to see that you can kind of distinctly make out the block. But if you look at the cool colorway in the lower right-hand corner, all of a sudden the blocks, it's not so easy to figure out where these blocks start and end. And you get a lot of secondary patterns. And of course, we did this one. This kind of segues into these, which I'm super excited about, because these are the new Cave Fawcett collectives coming out in February to local quilt shops. And these were super, super fun to design for FreeSpirit. And again, you can see just the different flavor and the way it all looks there. Carl loves the cool colorway. I love the hot colorway. Oh, I forgot to go to the overhead. Let me go to the overhead.
Because we got this over the waterfall background.
This is the original one with the waterfall background. And for Melanie, I think, who was asking about abo dots, there it is. That's Aboriginal dots. Go a little closer, Carl.
Let me see if I can get it up there without it.
Can you see it,
Can you
Sharon?
see that?
It's hard to see. It's not reading quite the way.
Right.
That's okay. Thank you for trying.
Yeah, those are the abo dots. They're little oval, they're ovals, I should say. How do I describe it? It's oval within an oval, and it's got little dots in the background.
The little
almost
dots.
like eyeballs.
Mm-hmm.
Like eyeballs.
But that waterfall quilt Carl wanted to show, because this was the original one we did for you back in 2018 in these beautiful cave fabrics that came out during that year.
And we'll flash the backing on this one.
What's the backing? Oh,
full blown, full bloom.
Full blown. Yes.
I need to know that. It's called full blown is that background. I've got my Bible with me here.
Oh, there you go.
The fabric
I
Bible.
just call it like the large peony,
Well, it is. It is. It's beautiful.
Peonies. But back to these beautiful fabrics coming out. So this is the cool colorway and the hot colorway. And again, you can see kind of the secondary patterns. What I like about this pattern too, waterfall, is depending on how you use your fabrics, if you look at the hot colorway there, it almost looks like those 2 rows, the hot pink and the reds, are kind of mushing together a little bit. So there's a secondary pattern coming into play there, which is really fun. But I want to show, if I can, some other ones that we just did for you guys too in the Cave Fawcett collective new collection coming out in February. This one is called Maud Blossom. Carl designed this now.
Oh.
Yeah. Isn't
Good
that
job,
Carl?
I got flowery on this one.
He got flowery on this one.
But it's easy.
He says it's easy. It is easy.
And I sewed it.
He did sew it, one of our samples. But this is, again, the same fabrics, the hot, cool colorway in your left-hand side of your screen, the hot colorway in the right side. Now, the background fabrics are a little different here. I want to say under the cool colorway, we use the spot fabric in a I think it was called Blue Jay. It's a very light, or it's either Blue Jay or Duck Egg. I can't remember, but it's a very light aqua spot. And then for the hot colorway, this was a little bit different. We used the Apple, I think it's called. It's the very bright green spot of pink, which really set off those beautiful hot pink colors going on.
It sets them up really nicely.
It does. And it was so fun to create this and design these. And what's really fun about this particular pattern is it's a fat quarter friendly pattern. So you need about 3 yards of background fabric, and you need 1 fat quarter bundle. And if you've got fat quarters, if you're a lover of cave and you're collecting fat quarters, let's say, because I do that sometimes, I'll just buy a bundle. You just need 18 fat quarters for this quilt. That's all you need. And how you cut it up, and how it goes together is up to you. But it's super fun. And as you can see, there's just 2 different blocks. There's a star flower, and then there's like kind of this leafy shaped large flower going on.
Linda, I just received notification that Philip Jacobs is watching us.
Hi, Philip.
Hi, Philip. I'll put my best British accent on now.
Oh, now I'm going to get shy because Philip's watching us. Oh, my gosh.
Don't get shy. He loves seeing his fabric.
We love Philip's fabric. So, yay. Okay. So, this is Maud Blossom. And then if I'm moving on, This is Modbox. So this is another one that Carl designed. You can tell he does all the graphic stuff and he does all the piece stuff, and I do all the other applique stuff. But these are the same fabrics now. So again, I love going back a little bit if Sharon doesn't mind, and we look. These are all the same color, you know, same bundle of fabrics in the cool colorway and the same bundle of fabrics in the hot colorway. So if you're a hot colorway lover like I am, and you want to collect the fat quarters or the fabrics in the hot colorway, you can see how different everything looks depending on what you're doing with it and what pattern you're choosing and what background you're putting with it. Modbox is another fun one. This pattern we just released. It is super fun. It takes 10 half yards and then 2 background fabrics. And you can see that we didn't use the abo dots. Again, we kind of strayed from our normal quilting here. We used fabrics that were in the collection. Again, these are all coming out in February. And I love these fabrics right now. I think this is a wonderful collection coming out. It's super exciting.
It is. They just keep getting better and better, those guys.
I know. And of course, you know, like Sharon said, if you are a cave lover and you have been collecting through the years, and maybe you haven't been collecting so much in the last year, but you want to start again, everything matches, everything goes together beautifully. There's no problem mixing and matching 20-year-old cave with current cave. It just all goes together. This one is called Colourwerx, and so this one is super fun. We designed for you guys.
Fun design using the Cave Collective.
It is, and I want to kind of show, and I actually want to show, this is a pattern, Colourwerx, and you guys were nice enough, so I'm going to just flash some fabrics.
Yes, we love to flash fabric.
You nice enough to send us these gorgeous new caves. I'm going to massage them a little bit, coming out, you know, February.
Yes, the ships to shops in February 2021.
That's right. So they ship to shops in February. So you should be able to find them, I think, in shops in February.
Oh yes, in February.
You can pre-order them too, I think.
Exactly.
On some shops online.
Exactly.
But if I have a little surprise. So if I go over here, there is the quilt being built. Ooh. And you can see I only have well, you know what? If you guys why don't you give me, hold on, I can finish this quilt. So give me like 2 seconds and I'm going to finish this quilt. Hold on for just a minute.
Okay.
So I've jumped over to my cutting board here and I'm ready to put a block together. I've got to finish this quilt for you guys. I'm using my color bug pattern here. It's a fun slash and sew liberated way of piecing all these color bugs. So each one is totally different and all the instructions are here in the pattern for you. And the great thing about using Cave Fawcett fabric is he gives you so many choices, especially with this new fabric line coming out in February of next year. Here's his new hydrangea print, and you can choose to make your color bugs with a little bit of this lavender fuchsia color here of the hydrangea or all of the red. And so for my color bugs, I want to include a little bit of both. So what I did is I fussy cut my wings for my color bug, including a little bit of the pinky lavender here and a little bit of the red, so that when I make this bug, you're going to see that the wings are going to include both those fabrics. Let me show you how easy it is to put this bug together. Here we go. We're just going to slash and sew. Okay.
Linda, you are the fastest seamstress I've ever seen.
I know. Can you believe it? Okay. So that was Carl playing on the piano in the background. Sorry.
Yeah, I had to do something while she was
Carl is a
sewing.
little theatrical play. So wait, so there, look at that beautiful bug block. It's great. And half of the magenta with the red and stuff like that. Yeah, you must know that we have a flair for theatrical. We used to be in TV and film, so forgive us. We have to make it theatrical every now and then.
We love it.
But
Thank
here,
you for
wait,
doing that.
there. Oh, let me finish it up. So all I have to do is sew these rows together now, and I am totally done. But I love the way this quilt is coming out. It is gorgeous. And the leaf blocks are so great with this like stripe going on in here too. And I think we have a plane going over.
No, we have the mower outside.
The mower is going. So if you see, here's somebody mowing. But look at this. So this is also what you guys said, and this is gorgeous. So yes, it's 108 inch. Rings. Yeah, the onion rings in this mod pink. It's very mod.
On a backing now. Isn't that gorgeous?
It's fabulous. This is the backing for this quilt. It's going to be great when it gets done. But I just had to show that to you because we had so much fun putting this together. Carl and I have been sewing this for the last, couple days now?
Yes.
Getting it done for you. I just had those couple blocks left to do.
Listen, we saw you whip up those 3 blocks. You haven't been working on that for days.
No, we are speed sewers.
And how'd you like your design wall I made? A new design wall for you.
And so everybody knows this is the Cave flannel design wall. It's gorgeous. It sets off all your colors. You've got the grid pattern that you can use. It's perfect. Perfect. So I'll go back over here.
Okay, so Linda's on her way back in now.
Here I am.
I'm back on the cutting board. Back to the keys on the piano keys.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Gosh. That was quite some sewing, wasn't it? Oh my God.
Speed sewing. Who doesn't love speed sewing?
That's right.
That's right.
So I wanted to show this too. So this is something that we did with some of our cave scraps as well. So, everybody's collecting all these scraps. And if you know Laura Heine, and she does all those collage quilts and she has all those patterns, we did this as a tutorial on one of our Fab Friday programs. So we do a live broadcast on Friday at 10 a.m. We call it Palm Springs times, but it's Pacific time, or it's what time is it? 1 p.m. Eastern time.
There, just put it up down there.
There it is, on our Colourwerx Facebook page. So if you like this is a tutorial that we did a couple weeks ago. It's called the, what did I call this? The Fast Flower Fabric Collage tutorial or something like that. But on that tutorial, we showed everybody how to cut up your cave, fuse it, do a little background, put it in a little frame, give it to somebody as a little gift, or put it in your house to brighten a spot. So if you go up to our Colourwerx YouTube page, you'll find this under one of the Fab Friday episodes, but also you can tune in tomorrow and we'll have a new tutorial to Fab Friday there going on as well.
Wow, I love that, Linda. That's great.
Well, thanks. It was fun to do it. Wait, here we go. There.
Yes. What did you use for the background? Is that the background?
It's the apple dot, I think it is. It's a spot dot.
It's kind of hard to see, for us to see right now, I think because it's under glass. So you've totally framed that up, right?
Yes. I just used one of those deep shadow box frames that you get at Michael's, and you can get a pack of 3 of these for like $7 or $9 with a coupon.
Right.
And then you can put the glass in if you want to, or not. If you don't want the glass in, it's a lot more organic looking, I think,
Right.
If you
that's a great creative way to use scraps and
it's everything is just fused on. So you just fuse everything beforehand, fussy cut the flowers out,
it's really fun
for the TV or whatever,
And we give you the shape in the tutorial too for this pattern. So if you want to do it, feel free.
I actually attached on the tutorial that's up on our Colourwerx YouTube page the vase shape. So if you wanted to, print that out, it's a PDF, and then you can enlarge it depending on what you're doing, or reduce it depending on how small you want to make your vase.
Well, I love that. It's another new creative way to use fabric. So we're always looking for that.
I'm going to grab another one quickly before we move on.
Carl has another one too. We actually, my aunt, my aunt was a oil painter, and so we ended up getting a bunch of her oil paintings. And
look at that.
So this was one of her oil paintings, and I didn't really want to mat it in. And so I found this perfect piece of cave faucet
That's right.
for the background.
It looks like it's his guinea flower in the background.
It is his guinea flower, yes.
And
Put
again,
that
a
on.
three-dimensional box.
Yeah, and it's a bigger, it's a three-dimensional
Yeah.
kind of.
That's
frame.
very cool. So you can
Yeah.
convert your artwork onto cave fabric. I love that.
Why not?
Right. Why not?
Why not, huh?
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay.
So it looks like we have about 10 minutes left. Do you guys have
Okay.
any other things you'd like to show us?
Just a little trunk
Yes.
show.
Let me just go forward because I
I'm gonna
wanted to
skip out of
show
here.
quick. Okay, good. He's skipping out of there. So I wanted to show some of our previous things that we did with Cave too. Because,
Love those dogs.
yes, Mod Dog. And a lot of people might recognize this particular pattern. It's been around for a few years now with Colourwerx, but it's a wonderful way of using, again, 2.5-inch strips of Cave. If you've collected any of the classic 2.5-inch design rolls, or if you want to just cut up from your stash or fat quarters, 2.5-inch strips. It's a beautiful way of using them all. The quilting in this, if I go to the overhead, let me just show you there. So there you go, there's the overhead. And you can see all of that working out those beautiful Cave fabric strips. The quiltings, a lot of people always ask us, who is the machine quilter? And I just need to give her credit here if I can. So the machine quilting that you're going to see in some of these quilts coming up is Teresa Silva. Quilting is my bliss. She does beautiful, beautiful machine quilting, and she does most of all of our custom quilting for us. So
she's a very, very talented quilter. I agree.
But I also wanted to mention that if you collect any of the Cave Fawcett ribbons that are put out by Renaissance Ribbons, this is a great way of using some of those tidbits of ribbons you might have.
I love that. The dog collars have Renaissance ribbon on them.
That's right. You can use dog collars.
That's the Cave stripe.
Yep.
Yep. Wow, those look awesome.
And
I'd like to suggest to viewers too, the background that, oh, look at that. That's awesome. Love it. Isn't he adorable?
That's a mini Mod Dog, so we'll go to that one in a minute. But you were going to say the background.
I was going to say the backgrounds. We have Tim Holtz, and Tim Holtz over there on the right-hand side. I know those aren't Tim's fabrics, but
you could
Tim
use
Holtz
them.
fabrics would look beautiful teamed with that. So take a look at all of our Tim Holtz fabrics as well if you think of recreating this in your own way.
Yes, that would be good.
Yes.
That would be good. And then if I go forward, let me see, I think we have the mini Mod Dog. So there you go. Now you can see
so adorable.
So mini Mod Dogs are really fun to make. I call this the immediate gratification project because it takes literally an afternoon to make one of these.
Oh, really?
So these are wonderful gifts. These are, and I've never had, a lot of times when you do dog quilts, for some reason people go, oh, it's not my breed. I don't like that. I need my breed, that kind of thing. Nobody has ever said this remarkably about this dog. Everybody looks at this dog and they go, oh, that is my dog to a T. And I'll go, oh, what kind of dog do you have? And they go, oh, I have a Mastiff or a Golden Retriever. And I'm like, really? Okay.
Perfect.
All right. So if we go to the overhead, there's some pillows there.
Oh, those are great.
And the
back,
Cave.
yep, the backing is Artisan
Cave
by
Artisan.
Cave Fawcett.
Right.
So
very nice. Oh, wow.
Yeah. They are super fun to make too. Like I said, they're immediate gratification. They go together super, super, super. Here, I'll show another one. Super fast there. This is like an afternoon, project, if that.
And what's on the back of that?
Oh, the back has that gorgeous.
Oh, paper fans. I know that one.
Yeah. Yes. So beautiful stuff. And of course, where there's a dog, there has to be,
a cat.
And
cat. Chase a cat. Oh, look at that.
That's one of our patterns called Mod Cat. And that's been both the Mod Dog and the Mod Cat and the mini Mod Dog are very popular. Those are our three most popular patterns that we've done so far.
Wow. I see why.
Yeah, I credit a lot of it to Cave too. People just love using the Cave Fawcett fabric like this. So
yes. Well, they look fantastic. Look at those cats.
I know they're very mod cats. They have cats with
very sleek. Those are city cats.
And then of course I have to show this guy. This is the Mod Tiki. So this was done with all the artisan fabric, and I just had fun creating this. So These were all scraps that I had left over from a quilt I think I built for you, Sharon, a couple of years ago. And so I thought, oh, they'd be wonderful as a tiki. So
Yeah.
if you have any guys or girls in your family that are into Polynesian tikiville, this is the quilt for them. So,
Yes, I love that.
yeah.
That's very
And of
cool.
course,
Nicely done. Nicely done, Linda.
yeah. And I think I have a few more to show you quickly. So here's Cosmos. This was one of our very first patterns designed with Kate way back when we still owned the shop in Southern Pines a long time ago. And this was the large quilt that you see on the right was kind of my way of using every single cape I had in my stash at that point. I was like determined, I have to use every single cape that's in my stash. So every single one of those yellows is a different fabric. Every single one of the oranges is a different fabric, the pinks, that kind of thing.
That's really magnificent. You did a nice job.
Well, thank you. And then on the left, you can see what happens when you just want to use 2 jelly rolls. So that's a variation on the Cosmos quilt, using 2 of the Cave Classic jelly rolls. And I think that's is it called the Peacock and the
Lipstick, I think.
Lipstick?
Yeah, lipstick and peacock. Yeah, those pre-cut. Yep.
Yeah, so you can get pretty much 2 blocks out of every jelly roll or so, 2 full blocks. So, and Carl's got a singular block there on the overhead to show you. It's a lighting a little off, but
is that better?
it's okay. Yeah.
Okay. This is.
I think it looks great.
Can you see that, Sharon? Yeah.
Yes, it looks great.
Yeah.
And this one, if we're talking about using color, is analogous. So if people know about the color wheel, so these 2 colors are next to each other on the color wheel, and it looks beautiful together. And when you get all your cave strips in those colors, so that's an analogous block. And I've got another one.
Yeah, and we'll go back here. So he's going to bring out this one really quickly on the variation that's up in the upper left-hand corner here. Let me see if he's, there you go. So that's it in the flesh, so to speak.
Right. Wow.
That variation. And it's really fun to variegate the background too of these Cosmos blocks. So you can see how we went from light gray to dark gray on the, you know, just to create more of an effect and more movement across the quilt, so to speak.
And you don't waste any of the fabric from the offcuts here because you use it in the outer border.
Yeah, if you can move the quilt to one side, you can see, there you go.
See that?
So all those little offcuts that were from the quadrant were used in the inner border of that quilt.
Look at that. I like that. It's like piano keys, but they
are, but it's all the offcuts of the quadrant. Once you cut your quadrant, you have an L shape left over. And so I just chopped up the L shape and made an inner border out of it. Very nice. Brilliant. And then we have this one, which is called, when it advances, Dazzle. So this is an exhibition quilt right now. We still have it as a PDF pattern if you're interested, but we really look at this one more as an exhibition quilt because it's a big quilt to build. It's 72 by 72, and the wingspan of that dragonfly in the middle, the big one, is probably at least 5.5 feet. Really. And then you have your little baby dragonflies. And this one was actually designed when we still lived in Pinehurst, North Carolina. And we lived on a lake, and it was actually a lakeette that actually irrigates the golf course. And at, you know, kind of sundown, the dragonflies would kind of fly over the lake, and their little wings would become almost stained glass. And it used to always remind me of Cape Fawcett fabric. And so that was kind of the inspiration of making this particular quilt. And so we kind of looked at some botanical prints, and we looked at mosaic tiles and things like that when we put this quilt together and designed it. Carl's got it, I think, up in the overhead there. There you go. You can kind of see this beautiful feather going across there. That is, of course, thanks to Teresa again, our machine quilter. She does beautiful work. We don't give her any notes. We just go, here's the top, Teresa, go to it. And you can see as Carl moves this quilt across, all the beautiful quilting she put in that background. Yeah, she's a magnificent quilter. You're absolutely right. You're smart to use her, Linda. Sorry, what? I said you're smart to use her as your machine quilter. Yes. I actually think anybody can use her. I want to say that. That's why I wanted to give her credit, because anybody can find her website, Quilting is My Bliss. You can go to her Facebook page and check out what she does. She posts regularly. You can send quilts to her. Just check in with her about her schedule. She's a marvelous, marvelous, beautiful machine quilter. And I think if you show the back to that,
I was going to say, because we're not just
it's just not cave,
because we're not just
we just have
cave
to flash
snobs.
Tula a little
Look,
bit.
we had
Whoa!
Tula on the back.
Yes.
So there's Tula
Wow.
Freefall 108 inch
Yep.
that we use. But you can really, that shows off her quilting too, a lot.
Oh, yes. Look at that. Very nice. Very nicely done.
And
Love
then
that
we just have,
quilt.
we just have one more to show of
Sample.
Dazzle quickly. I'm still on the overhead. Hold on,
Oh,
let me go here. I'll go to me for a minute and vamp like 2 seconds while he gets this one ready. Okay, so here
All
it
right.
is.
My
There.
stoplight quilt.
There it is. So this is a baby version. It's kind of like 3 little dragonflies in a row. But I wanted to show
They're
this
flying.
one as well,
They're flying.
just because it shows off the cave really well. And everything about these particular quilts, both Dazzle, the big Dazzle and this small Dazzle, these are all pieced. So all the wings are pieced. Everything is pieced. The only thing that's not pieced is the actual body. The body is this is wonky piecing, slash and sew put together, and then you kind of applique that body on at the very last bit. And again, you can see all the beautiful quilting from Teresa with the feather effect. I think you can in the background there.
Well, let's see on the
if
back.
the resolution is showing, she did some beautiful, beautiful feather quilting there, in and out.
Now, Linda, on the front of that quilt, is that Tim Holtz in the background by chance, or?
It's not, but it could be.
It could be, exactly.
It could be. It's
Yes,
very
so
similar.
I just wanted to point that out, though, to everybody that, you know, these cave fabrics on top are so bold and beautiful and magnificent that you could also look to the Tim Holtz fabrics that we offer. It would make a beautiful background, certainly on that one as well.
Yeah. Well, any of these, you know, and of course on this one, Dazzle, everything is pieced on this quilt, even the background. So some people think that that's appliqued on, and I appliqued these backgrounds together. No, it's meant to. It is pieced. The pattern itself, if you do purchase the PDF, it's meant to be kind of freeform slash and sew is the way I describe it, where you kind of put fabrics together and you kind of slash through them. And that's like the color bug pattern when I showed how to demo, when I demoed how to make that block. It's meant to be liberated. And then I just have one more, which is—
So you're saying it's liberated sewing, Linda? Is that
it
what
is
we're doing?
liberated sewing. It means it's slash and sew. You don't have to be exact. You don't have to have an exact quarter and seam. You don't have to be exact with your piecing or your cutting or anything like that. Now on this one, this is all half square triangles. So this is mix it up using, of course, all of Cave's spots that came in a 10-inch or a 5-inch charm pack. And this is, this probably looks familiar to you, Sharon, because we did this for you guys a couple years ago. And we're back to our basics in the background, which is those Aboriginal beautiful dots in water and orchid color. That really just show a different flair for each. So again, the fabrics are exactly in the same spot. The only difference between these two quilts is the white one, the actual quilt is rotated 180 degrees there, but the fabrics are all in the same spot.
That's pretty amazing when you look at it like that, right? That the fabrics are exactly the same, and just changing that background fabric gives those quilts two totally different feels. So it's pretty amazing. You guys are amazing. You do amazing.
For a minute.
Carl's gonna bop out for a minute, but I'm here now. And so that was all of our stuff.
Well, you've shown us quite a bit. Thank you.
It was fun. We have so much fun, and it's working with you guys is great. And all I can say about Cave Fawcett fabric, whether it's a piece of Cave, Grandin, Philip, it's like luxury. It's like it's the way when you buy a piece of Cave, you're buying all those different colorizations that go into it, all that different artwork that goes into it. It's no wonder when we used to have our shop, the appliqueurs would come in droves for a piece of Cave Fawcett fabric.
Oh, wow.
There's so many different uses for, even if you're just buying a half yard of one fabric, you get so many different motifs and colors just based on the way he colors it. And so I always think of Cave Fawcett as like a luxury fabric, even though it's not, the price is not luxury. It's just a luxury fabric. You get a lot of uses out of it.
It's beautiful fabric. I totally agree with you. And we're so glad that you enjoy working with our fabrics. I think that your love for the fabric comes through in all the design work that you do. And we love working with you. So thank you so much for everything that you, for your love of the art of quilting and for the love of Free Spirit fabric. We love that. What's Carl doing?
Well, like we plan everything, except when the doorbell goes and it's a delivery.
It's a delivery of new fabric.
Oh, you got some fabric. Is that it?
That's why we had to answer the doorbell. That's why he had to run and answer the doorbell, because it's a delivery of new fabric
with a signature
for some super secret samples we're doing. So.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Whoa.
Maybe go see
and
those.
it's live. See, we're live, so all these things happen. So.
That's right. The mowers, the fabric, the blackouts, everything.
Thank you, Sharon, for what you're saying. We actually love you guys. So we love working with Free Spirit Fabrics.
Fun.
And Kate.
We love collaborating with you, and I'm glad that we've been able to work this out over the years where you've done so much design work. And I hope that the viewers today have enjoyed to see everything that you guys have created over the years using K Facets, the collective's beautiful fabrics. I just wanted to go, we have to do a couple more things. I want to thank everybody for joining us today. I want to thank Linda and Carl for joining us today. We loved having you. You guys are fantastic. You're so much fun. And I wanted to, again, talk about the quilt behind me. These are Cave Shock Cottons. So in addition to all of those beautiful prints that Linda and Carl have shown you, he also has shock cottons that you could team with any of those prints. They look beautiful. And these shock cottons are out in the stores. This quilt is, I'm already forgetting the name. I said the name of it earlier and I can't remember the name of it now. Rosita Zigzag, made by Liza Lucy. And this is going to be in an upcoming magazine, so look for that. And my top, Zappy Dots, go to zappydots.com. Any of the patterns that you've seen today, we'd like you to go to Colourwerx.com to look for any of the patterns that Linda and Carl have shown today. And any of the fabrics, of course, come to FreeSpiritFabrics.com for any of the fabrics that you've seen today. And I'd like to thank Lindsay for answering questions today. I don't know if I've missed any specific questions, and I apologize if I have. I was trying to keep, it's been very inspirational, Leslie Buzzing says. And so there's a lot of positive feedback on here. I think a lot of people have really enjoyed it. But we do have one more thing to do. We have to do a giveaway, and we want to do a giveaway.
Yes.
So we did a giveaway, but you know what we never discussed was, what is the question for the winner? What do they need to answer? Something about today. You guys love to vamp.
Okay. Let's see. What about, what's your favorite Cave fabric print?
Oh, specific to it. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yes. We know what ours are. And they could be more than one. Yeah. We love them all. But that's right. What is your favorite Cave print or design?
That sounds like a great question. So we would like.
Do we get to talk about what the giveaway is?
Yes, of course we do.
Oh.
We have to talk about the giveaway. Oh. So the giveaway is, drum roll. Are you ready?
Yes.
You ready? Go ahead and show.
Oh, I was going to say, well, these fabrics that we showed, I can bring up, isn't it this? It's that.
Yes, we are going to be giving away, Linda and Carl are giving away the pattern to make this color bug quilt, and the Free Spirit Fabrics is going to send a winner the fabrics to create it. And so these are fabrics that aren't even shipping until February 2021. So that's a pretty awesome gift.
There we go. She's vamping.
Oh, look at that. Look at that.
You're going to get the brand new fabrics that not shipped yet and the pattern.
And the pattern.
We're going to put more patterns in there.
We'll give you a bundle.
We'll do a bundle of Colourwerx patterns, and then Free Spirit's doing the fabric kit. And one of the patterns will be color bugs, which is what you see on the design board. And
some of the other popular ones you've seen today.
Some of the other popular ones you've seen today.
That sounds
awesome.
You
can cut up your cave and you can get it going.
So the winner today, if they tell us their favorite cave fabrics, will get the quilt top, the fabric to make the quilt top, and the pattern to make the quilt, and maybe a couple other patterns thrown in there.
Yes, from absolutely.
The stuff you've seen today that can use your cave on, we're going to add them patterns in too.
Okay, well that sounds awesome. I'd love to be the winner of that. So anyway,
you never know. You have to answer the question.
Well, I know. I don't think I qualify. But Anyways, well, listen, it's been so wonderful having you today. Thank you so
It's
much.
been great.
And
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, everybody. And thank you, Sharon, and everybody at Free Spirit. We really had a great time.
Well, we love you and thank you for everything. And I just want to remind viewers that we will be back next week. We will be back on October 1st with Rochelle Christensen, the California art girl, and we will be talking about Tim Holtz next week. So please come back 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I know that Linda and Carl, you guys joined in today at noon. Thank you for that. And Rochelle actually is in California as well, so she'll be joining in at noon. But we will be here at 3 o'clock p.m. next week, October 1st. I can't believe it's October already. So thank you, you guys. I'll talk to you soon. You guys are awesome.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Have a great day. Thanks.